أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome, dear friends, to a quiet moment with the Qur'an. You know, for the last 9 days, it feels like the Qur'an has been carefully building a structure inside of us, a structure of faith, of clarity, and accountability. Well, today, in Juz៍ 10, that very structure is about to be put to the test. This is it. This is the heart of Juz៍ 10. It moves right past just believing something in theory and gets into the real world of our actions. Everything in this section really pivots on this one single, sobering question. It's asking you and me to look deep into our own hearts and wonder, what's the real price of my submission? So after all these days of building our faith and our understanding, the Qur'an kind of raises the stakes now. It's not just about being pious in a quiet corner anymore. The message moves out into the open, into the public square. It starts using the language of loyalty, of community, and social order. And here's where things get really fascinating. We see this shift in perspective. This Juz៍explores how our true character, our real sincerity, isn't revealed when we're weak and don't have a choice. No, it's revealed when a community is actually given authority and strength. Power, as the Quran shows us, is the ultimate test. So think about it. The whole context for the believers has changed dramatically. They're not a small, oppressed group anymore. They've become a real authority, a political and social force to be reckoned with. And with all this new power comes a totally new kind of test, a test of humility and a test of justice. Right after their victory at the Battle of Badr, can you imagine the feeling? And right then, Allah immediately reminds the believers where that success really came from. This is such a powerful lesson against the ego, right? Against that arrogance that can so easily sneak in after a win. It's like he's saying, it wasn't your strategy or your strength. That was all me. True strength is in that complete reliance on him, in tawakkul. Then we come across Surat al-Tawbah, the 9th chapter. And something is immediately different. It's the only surah in the entire Qur'an that doesn't begin with that beautiful phrase of mercy, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And that absence, it's a signal. It tells us the tone is about to shift and we really need to pay attention. But this firm tone, it's not about aggression. It's about moral clarity. The surah tackles betrayal head-on. It talks about treaties being broken, alliances being manipulated. It clarifies a really crucial point. Compassion is absolutely central to our faith, but it has to be balanced with justice. Mercy doesn't mean being naive when solemn promises are broken. Okay, so after dealing with these challenges from the outside, the Qur'an turns the lens inward. It moves to an internal challenge. And this is one of the huge themes of this Juz៍, the subtle, quiet, and really dangerous nature of hypocrisy. What's amazing here is that the Qur'an doesn't just condemn. It gives us a precise spiritual diagnosis. It's like a checklist of symptoms, so we can recognize these traits, not just out there in the world, but more importantly, inside ourselves. It's all about a faith that starts to flicker when it's asked to pay a price, a commitment that pulls back when things get uncomfortable. And to those who made excuses, who said, oh, let's not go out, it's too hot, Allah's reply is just, wow. It's stark, it's direct, and it's unforgettable. He reminds them, and he reminds us, to keep a proper perspective on what real hardship actually is. And this is so important to understand. The hypocrite in this context isn't someone who's an outright disbeliever. It's someone whose faith is conditional. It's a faith that works perfectly fine right up until it clashes with their convenience, their wealth, their reputation, or just their general ease. It's a faith that's always trying to negotiate. This just illustrates the inner reality so perfectly, doesn't it? Real hypocrisy, the kind that can creep into any of our hearts, is usually not some loud, dramatic rejection of God. It's a quiet, convenient little postponement of our duties. It's that whisper from the ego saying, later, or not right now, or surely there's an exception for me. So you might be wondering, okay, how does this ancient text from over 1,400 years ago hold up a mirror to my life today? Well, the battlefields might look different, but that fundamental test of our sincerity, it remains exactly the same. For us, the call to mobilize might not be a physical journey through a hot desert, but that confrontation with our own comfort, with our own attachments, that's just as real.
And honestly, it happens every single day in the choices we make.
These right here, these are our modern tests of allegiance. This is where we're asked to choose our faith over our own personal ease. It's in the office, it's in our bank accounts, it's in our social circles, and it's in those quiet moments when we have to decide between our busy schedule and our prayer.
And this is where the Qur'an asks us to be really brutally honest with ourselves. We use words like busy and burnout all the time. We say, I'm just so overwhelmed, or I'm trying to balance my priorities. But this juzz asks us to dig a little deeper. Is it genuine fatigue, or is that just a convenient mask for a deeper attachment to our comfort, to our money, to our time?
Okay, so now what? How do we take all of this heavy, important understanding and turn it into real, heartfelt action? How do we transform this knowledge into a practice that actually purifies our intentions and strengthens our resolve?
So here are 5 practical steps we can take, maybe even tonight, to start internalizing these profound lessons. This is all about nurturing a faith that doesn't just survive when things are easy, but one that survives when it costs us something, a faith built on true sincerity, on ikhlas.
And so we come full circle. We end right where we began, with that one ultimate question that Juz៍ 10 leaves echoing in the quiet of our own hearts. It's not a question for everyone else out there. It's for you and it's for me, right here, right now. You know, a faith that can survive when things are easy and comfortable, that's common. But a faith that survives when it costs you something precious, your time, your wealth, your reputation, that is truly rare. Allah doesn't need our strength. He doesn't need our grand plans. He just asks for our sincerity. May He look into our hearts and find them sincere. May He grant us an allegiance that is unwavering, no matter what the cost. Ameen.